Here's your daily market review for Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Let's go.
Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well.
This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your daily market review for Tuesday, February 6th, 2024. Hopefully you're having a great day. If you get a chance, check out the live chat we did earlier. Spectacular stuff. If you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room, link in the description below. Well, guess what? It's getting to be almost the middle of February. The markets are, again, in my opinion, going to be choppy from here at worst, with the more likely outcome in the near term is some pullbacks based on the action. However, keep in mind, earnings season, there's a million other variables out there that could kick in and pop the market big one way or another. Do not be surprised, though. However, as I've said over and over, there's more risk to the downside than there is to the upside in the near term. So if you want to join the Discord room, links in the description below. I appreciate all the love, generous support. You guys are the best. Let's dig into it. If you're new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I appreciate it. Also, check out thetradingagent.com. Make sure you're getting your books, guys, getting your reading on. And also hit me up on the Twitter. A lot of good trades that we posted today. Good stuff, man. Really good stuff. We'll see how it plays out. Again, if you're swing trading, remember, do not take any trade without doing your due diligence, homework, talking to someone. But again, as we talk about trades, remember, we are swing traders. It's not about the quick, fast money. Now, hopefully you get that, but swing trading is the big chunks. CME, Fed Fund Futures target probabilities for the next meeting. Rate cut, not looking very possible at the moment. Oil, as we've talked about, it's going to be hard. It's going to be a big, sloppy, choppy trading range. If you really have to trade it, just be careful. You know, the easiest trade will be when the Feds pivot on all commodities, probably Bitcoin, gold, whatever, because at that point, when the Feds pivot, that's when the liquidity comes in, and these names could get stuck in ruts. Bitcoin, chopping around. I mean, we've talked about this. Like, you got to get over the 44,000. We talked about oversold going into the release of the ETFs, which everybody knew was a sell the news moment, except for dumb money. We talked about 20% pullback. You got that and more. You really got to get over this 44,000. Natural gas, again, I like natural gas down here. Now, again, nothing for certain, but there's not much downside, in my opinion, near term. Just be thoughtful of that. Now, again, whatever trades you put on, do your homework, do your due diligence. Don't make assumptions. Dollar, as we talked about, it's been holding up pretty well. Getting a little bit of volume up here. Remember, did X div, big div. It'd be equivalent to, I don't know, say filling this gap, probably around 2019 to touching up here at 2033. A little bit overbought near term. But again, the economic data is getting worse, but the rest of the world's in a crappier position. That's the irony here. Bonds, looks like we're stuck between this trading range. Now, again, this could be a head and shoulders bottom, very complex shoulder system, right? Watch this action. I mean, 93 to 100. Go with, in my opinion. VIX, I mean, this is what's making it hard, is right? The VIX is just chopping around. It's really extremely difficult to expect any breakdown or breakout with the choppiness in the VIX, right? And I mean, people say, oh, you could break out. Of course. The VIX, same thing, kind of thing. Just choppy action. SPY, another doji, indecisive up here. I mean, this candle up here is just telling me something, and it feels like a trap. It feels like a trap. QQQ, we talked about looking for left-right combos. Look at this. It looked like it was going to break the 8 and 10 day. We talked about in the daily recap, like that what you needed. That's what you need to see some follow-through. You didn't get it. So another day, another dollar. We'll see. IWM, as we talked about, has been leading down, looking like absolute trash. Up a little today. But when you zoom out, you go, wow, this is nowhere near the all-time highs. What is going on? You broke channel, broke trend below the 20-day. Be careful. DIA holding up pretty well. Got to give it credit where credit's due. Chopping, holding the 8 and 10 day. Next is 20. Next would be somewhere around this 376 if it does fail. Gold, I've been reminding people what seems like almost forever. We talked about it bouncing down here, and then I said, hey, if you really want to play it, you got to wait for the big money trade, which would be the breakout. We don't have a breakout. I don't want to play it. It's just that simple because silver's not confirming it. Look how crappy silver's acting. Chopping around. When you zoom out, you really see how badly it is acting. I mean, nowhere close. It's hard to have faith in gold when gold, like silver and the miners, just look like shiznit. Look at the GDXJ not looking good. GDXJ, not good. Again, I mean, you could say we're at reference areas, but again, if you've traded the market for any period of time, you know what happens to miners. They get absolutely throttled when the markets get crushed. And if there's credit issues, banking issues, wink, wink, miners have to go to the market to get credit. They're also they throw the baby out with the bathwater. Seen it 100 times. Feels like. AEM, not looking good. AG has earnings coming up. This thing's been chopping around. I don't know how much downside there is, but I don't think I want to find out. Newmont, we've been saying like this name should be up, but it's making new lows. Light volume, that's scary. You would think if it was really a flush trap, the volume would get released. Same thing with PAAS. It just is not showing it. Taiwan Semi, look at today's candle. What a joke. But then you look back to the left and you go, well, it's done this before. Or it fake breaks out, makes a new high after a big volume trap. I mean, this is literally the same kind of formation. But again, the candle, we'll see what happens. Again, love the idea of shorting up here. Easiest short, in my opinion, along with some of these semi names up here at some point. Micron, yikes, be careful. AMD, the dumbest money out there is just yelling buy. We said watch the 20-day. Now you've got there. You see lower highs. Will we see lower lows? Again, near term, I mean, at worst, chop. Longer term, it's really hard to see these going much higher. Really is. NVIDIA, we talked about the 3-gap trap. 1, 2, 3. You filled this gap today. We talked about it. Don't be surprised if it bounced there at the 663 area. Exactly 663 and bounced. Congrats if you're trading that. Intel, a laggard. We talked about some semis are not following. Look at the SMH. A double top. Keep an eye on it. Again, near term. I mean, these things have been chased to the moon. And be careful. There's no oxygen up here. Adobe, failing at the highs. The Apple, talking about watching the 20-day. Love it up here. 28-day, I mean, I circled it here. Like, just this area in here makes sense to me. Zoom back out right in here. Like, let me just drag this across. This area makes sense. I mean, I guess there's a lot of wicks somewhere in this area. Again, don't bring a ruler to trading. It's hard. 3-day rule, potentially. Maybe need one more day of chopping around. Amazon, we've talked to a lot of folks and said, you know, this trap, like you get exhaustion gaps. Watch what happens. As long as it holds 168, it's okay. If it breaks below it, yikes. Meta, same kind of thing. Has to hold 453. I think after hours. Snapchat's getting destroyed. Yeah, this is back down at the range lows. Just keep an eye on it because if it breaks, that would be a pretty epic trade. CRM, this one has been holding up. Got to give it credit where credit's due. I don't really have a position on this one. GOOG, watching this. 20-day, 20-day, 20-day. Microsoft, chopping around post earnings. I mean, it's just one of those names, like worst case scenario, like for bulls. Like best case is it just chops around. I don't think there's much upside. NDAQ, love this thing long term for a short. This fake chop breakout. I love these fake breakouts because they're big traps and they just trap people. MicroStrategies, we talked about, it was a great trade if you bought it at the channel. Watch the 20-day. We said this gap. Now it's compressing. Just watch the 20-day. Again, I think it could go either way from this position. And so that's where it gets worth to be a watch. Good old Netflix and chill. We talked about this 575, 580 level. Interesting. Again, these chop breakouts, I don't trust them after these huge moves. Roblox 47 area, failed chopping. Not really much to say. Good old Tesla. There you go. Channel lows. Has to hold. I posted this. Like, it has to hold. If not, like, this is where then you could see the damn break. When you break down channels, oof, they spill. Airbnb, we talked about this one popping and flopping. So far, holding the 20-day. Costco, I mean, it's holding up really well. Again, they're adding stores in China, but we'll see how long that lasts with everything going on. Starbucks, we talked about. Look at that big flop on earnings. Look at today's action. I mean, it's just all over the place. I mean, you could argue oversoldness is getting worked off pretty damn quickly. FedEx broke down, chopping around, making lower lows. Doesn't really look good. Caterpillar's pop on earnings. Look at this candle. It gives it all up. And then today, Doji. I mean, not all of it, but look at this big red. You feel the gap. I mean, those just look like tops. I mean, if you go study past. Nucor, here's another name. Like, again, everyone expecting a breakout, right? Everyone thinks it can go. And then sellers show up. So watch the 8 and 10 day. I mean, watch this 180 area. X, we talked about, will not get bought out by Nippon Steel. I don't think the United States will allow it. It just, is there other bidders in the low 40s? That's the question. I don't know how much downside there is. VALE, another global growth name, just looking like trash. Arrow, as we talked about, being oversold, bouncing at our bounce from our trend line, oversold, bounce to our resistance spot. It's tough to say. I mean, a lot of these names, again, easiest trade will be when the Feds pivot. Be careful, CCJ. Again, we like uranium long term. I mean, again, I like it on significant pullbacks. I know it's made a big run. I would not be surprised if it pulls back 20, 30%. At least down to the 40s and retest down here. And I also wouldn't be surprised to see it go much lower if the market throws the baby out with the bathwater. CF, same thing. We like ag names. It's just, I mean, they're just dead money in my opinion. Mosaic, NTR, they just all look stuck. AA, here's another one. I mean, this thing got slapped pretty good yesterday on Monday. It's probably going to fill that gap at some point. XLF, love the shorts up here. We've talked about it. Try to get as close as you can to the range highs. Looking good. People are asking about JP Morgan. Again, don't short the lows. Look for the chop. 176 area would be ideal. Morgan Stanley has no lift, just stuck. Bank of America, as we talked about, blow off top. Goldman Sachs, here you go, right? Chopping around. You've got to hold 370s. Could just chop here for a hot minute. Carry, as we talked about, is the canary in the coal mine. Better hold here for near term. And now, again, we know it's pulled back pretty aggressively. Let's see if it holds. XBI, here's another one. Bios, that should be risk on. Has to hold 86. Chopping between that and the range highs. Just zoom out. You can see it. Be careful here. I would go with, if it short fails here, go. If you want to go long again, I mean, that would be a trade that's very simple. TAN, we've talked about solar being absolute trash. All right. Not surprised. Oversold. Bounces a little bit. We talked about that. Sedge. These names, I think, in long term go much lower until the capitulation. First Solar finally broke down out of the channel. Just be patient. Now, again, some of these have earnings. Know your names. HYG, again, I'm mind boggled by anyone in their right mind who would be looking to buy corporate debt up here. I mean, you've got to be higher than a kite. Higher than a kite. All right, let's end it with oil and gas, as we always do. Oil, chopping around. Be careful. UNG said, hey, don't chase it. We said, let it come to you. I like it down here with tight stops. KOLD, same kind of thing. Like it. Like it a lot. And I warned in previous videos, don't be surprised if there gets a little bit of breakout, and that's why you lever in. You try to get as close to the highs. Remember we talked about shorting up here? Sweet trade. Patience, here you go. Could it go just a little higher? I mean, it's always possible. That's why you got to define your risk. If the shares are hard to short, just be careful. Be careful. Remember, it decays over time. XOP, as we talked about, this trade's just all over the place. I mean, good luck guessing on that one. ExxonMobil, chopping at the lows. I mean, it's just hard. And that's where if it's hard, it's just easier to walk away. Someone's asking today in the live chat about Occidental. I mean, I would just wait. I mean, it could break down, and then, again, I have alarm set below because I would love to see it trap, blow, then go. Until then, it just looks like dead money. That's just the problem. CVE, people were talking about someone buying calls. It just seems stuck. Valero, gasoline name, starting to pull back just a little bit today, especially with the market up. I'm not really too... It's tough to know. MPC, however, if you're watching MPC, it's hitting the channel highs and rejecting. We'll see up here. But it's been holding up pretty well. Gotta give it credit. EQT, a lot of people were like, oh, this thing is breaking out at 44. And it's like, here it comes right back. And last but not least, Flex LNG. We like this name long term because I think we will be natural gas exporters. Just let it play out. So if you have any questions, again, please leave a comment below. If you want to join the Discord room, link's in the description below. If there's anything I can do to help, use the Calendly link. Let's schedule a chat. A few people have been finally taking advantage of that. That's awesome. Again, I appreciate the love, support, the generous donations. You guys are amazing. If you have any real estate questions, do not hesitate to reach out. That's what I do, and I do well. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.